In a small village nestled beside a wide, flowing river lived a young girl named Elara. Elara's life was not always easy. Her family, though full of love, struggled to make ends meet. Their small farm provided just enough food, and there were many days when Elara went to bed with a rumbling stomach. But Elara had something that many others did not, an unshakable spirit and a heart full of dreams. From a young age, Elara loved stories. She would spend hours listening to the village elders tell tales of brave heroes, magical creatures, and faraway lands. These stories filled her mind with wonder and sparked a desire for something more than her simple life. She dreamed of traveling, of learning, and of making a difference in the world. One day, a traveling merchant came to Elara's village. He brought with him goods from distant cities, colorful fabrics, exotic spices, and books filled with knowledge. Elara was fascinated. She spent all her free time at the merchant's store, helping him unpack and organize his wares, just so she could catch a glimpse of the world beyond her village. The merchant, whose name was Thomas, noticed Elara's eagerness and intelligence. He saw in her a spark of potential, a thirst for knowledge that reminded him of himself when he was young. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Thomas sat with Elara by the riverbank. "Elara," he said gently, "I see a fire in your eyes. You are curious, and you are strong. But this village is small. Your dreams are big. What do you plan to do?" Elara looked down at her hands, her heart pounding in her chest. I don't know," she whispered. "I want to see the world, to learn, but how can I? We have no money, and there is no one to teach me." Thomas smiled. "The world is full of opportunities, Elara. Sometimes they are hidden, and you must seek them out. And sometimes they come to you in unexpected ways. As for learning, knowledge is everywhere, if you are willing to look for it." He told Elara about a famous school in a city far away, a place where scholars gather from all corners of the land to study. He described the grand library, filled with countless books, and the wise teachers who shared their knowledge freely. Elara's eyes widened with each word. It was as if her dreams were suddenly within reach. "But it costs a lot of money to go there, doesn't it?" she asked, her voice filled with a mixture of hope and despair. "Yes," Thomas admitted. "It does. But money is not the only currency. There's also hard work, determination, and a willingness to learn. If you have these things, Elara, you can achieve anything." Thomas's words ignited a new flame within Elara's heart. She knew that the journey would be difficult, but for the first time, she believed that it was possible. She decided then and there that she would find a way to go to that school. The next morning, Elara woke up with a newfound sense of purpose. She approached her parents and told them about her dream. They were surprised, but they knew Elara. They had always admired her spirit and her determination. After much discussion, they agreed to support her, even though they didn't know how they would manage it. "We don't have much, Elara," her father said, "but we will do everything we can to help you. Your dreams are important." Elara started working harder than ever before. She helped her parents in the fields. She helped her neighbors with their chores, and she even started making small craft to sell at the village market. She saved every coin she owned, knowing that each one brought her closer to her goal. Word of Elara's determination spread throughout the village. People admired her hard work and her unwavering spirit. Some offered her extra work, others gave her small gifts, and the village elder even started teaching her some basic reading and writing. Years passed. Elara grew from a young girl into a strong and capable young woman. She had learned a great deal, not only from her work but also from the people around her. She had learned about farming, about trading, about healing, and about the history of her land. And she had never given up on her dream. Finally, the day came when Elara had saved enough money for the journey to the city. It was a bittersweet moment. She was excited to embark on this new adventure, but she was also sad to leave her family and her village. Her parents hugged her tightly, tears in their eyes. "We are so proud of you, Elara," her mother said. "You have worked so hard, and you have never given up. We know you will do great things." Her father placed a small, warm book in her hands. "This book has been in our family for generations," he said. "It is filled with stories and wisdom. May it guide you on your journey." The villagers gathered to say goodbye. They cheered for Elara, wishing her good luck and safe travels. Thomas, the merchant, was there too. He smiled at her, his eyes filled with pride. "You have proven me right, Elara," he said. "You have shown the world what you are capable of. Never stop believing in yourself." With a heart full of hope and a bag filled with her belongings, Elara set off on her journey. The road was long and challenging. She walked for days, sometimes sleeping under the open sky, sometimes finding shelter in small villages along the way. She faced hunger, thirst, and exhaustion, but she never lost sight of her goal. Along her journey, Elara met many different people. Some were kind and helpful, offering her food and shelter. Others were suspicious and unwelcoming. But Elara learned from each encounter. She learned to trust her instincts, to be cautious but also open-hearted, and to never let fear control her. One day, she came to a river that was too wide and too deep to cross on foot. She didn't know what to do. She sat down on the riverbank, feeling discouraged for the first time since she had left her village. As she sat there, a group of travelers approached. They were also trying to cross the river, but they didn't know how. Elara listened as they discussed their options. Some wanted to turn back, others wanted to try and build a raft, but no one seemed to have a good solution. Elara, remembering the skills she had learned in her village, spoke up. "I know how to build a raft," she said. "My father taught me. If we work together, we can all cross the river." The travelers were surprised but also hopeful. They agreed to work with Elara, and together they built a sturdy raft. It was hard work, but Elara's knowledge and leadership helped them overcome the challenges. Finally, they crossed the river safely. The travelers were grateful to Elara. They had seen her courage, her skill, and her willingness to help others. They offered her a place among them, and Elara, feeling a sense of belonging, accepted. The group traveled together for many weeks. Elara learned even more from her new companions. She learned about different cultures, different languages, and different ways of life. She also shared her own knowledge and experiences, teaching them about farming, healing, and the stories of her village. Finally, after many months of traveling, Elara reached the city. It was a bustling, vibrant place, filled with people from all walks of life. Elara was overwhelmed by the sights and sounds, but she was also filled with excitement. She had made it. Finding the school was not easy. The city was a maze of streets and buildings, and Elara often felt lost and confused. But she persevered, asking for directions, following her instincts, and never giving up hope. When she finally stood before the gates of the school, Elara felt a sense of awe. The buildings were grand and imposing, the gardens were beautiful and serene, and the air seemed to hum with knowledge and wisdom. Elara took a deep breath and walked through the gates. She approached the main building and asked to speak to the headmaster. She told him her story about her life in the village, her dreams, and her long journey. The headmaster listened patiently, his eyes filled with interest. He was impressed by Elara's determination and her thirst for knowledge. He had seen many students come and go, but he had rarely met someone with such a strong spirit. "Elara," he said, "your journey has been remarkable. You have shown great courage, resilience, and a true dedication to learning. I believe you deserve a chance to study here." Elara's heart soared. She had done it. She had overcome every obstacle, every challenge, and she had finally achieved her dream. Tears of joy streamed down her face as she thanked the headmaster. Her time at the school was everything she had ever imagined and more. She studied with brilliant scholars, she learned from wise teachers, and she devoured every book in the library. She excelled in her studies, her natural intelligence and her years of self-education making her a quick and eager learner. But Elara never forgot her roots. She remained humble and grateful for the opportunities she had been given. She used her knowledge not only to improve herself, but also to help others. She tutored younger students. She volunteered in the city's clinics, and she even started a small school for the children of the poor. Elara's reputation spread throughout the city. People admired her intelligence, her compassion, and her unwavering spirit. She became a role model for young and old alike, a living example of what can be achieved with hard work, determination, and a belief in oneself. Years passed, and Elara graduated from the school with honors. She had become a renowned scholar, a respected teacher, and a beloved member of the community. But she knew that her journey was not over. She had a new dream now, to return to her village and use her knowledge and skills to help her people. She traveled back to her village, and her return was met with great celebration. Her family and the villagers welcomed her with open arms, their hearts filled with pride and joy. Elara kept her promise. She built a school in her village, where children could learn to read and write. She taught the villagers new farming techniques, which helped them improve their harvests. She established a clinic, where people could receive medical care. And she shared the stories and wisdom she had gathered on her journey, inspiring others to pursue their own dreams. Elara's life became a legend in her village and beyond. People came from far and wide to seek her advice, to learn from her, and to be inspired by her story. She had shown them that it didn't matter where you came from or what obstacles you faced. What mattered was the strength of your spirit, the size of your dreams, and your willingness to work hard to achieve them. And so, Elara lived a long and fulfilling life, leaving behind a legacy of hope, courage, and the unbreakable power of the human spirit. Her story was told and retold for generations, a reminder that even the smallest of us can achieve the greatest of things, if only we dare to dream and never give up.